The joint special call Budget and Finance Committee meeting and special call committee of the meeting to hold to order. It is 3:33 p.m. Councilors, have you had a chance to look at the minutes from the last meeting? Okay, is there a motion?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The minutes from the last meeting have been approved. Councilors, are there any items you would like to place on consent? Councilor Abbott.
I would like to place items 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 15 on consent. I take that back, not item 6, because I wanted to add something to that. I'm sorry. 5, 7, 8, 9, and 15 on consent.
Madam President, are there any items you'd like to place on consent?
Yes, I wondered if the council would consider item number 17, since that's just a changeover from a discretionary account, and item 18 as well. 17 and 18.
Okay, item 17 on mine was old and new business.
Okay.
So do we have a new version?
It should be in your folder.
It should be. We did get a new agenda revised.
She emailed one out this morning.
Well, I was dealing with sewer problems this morning, so I didn't get to read it.
17 is just discretionary account.
Yeah, 17 is fine for consent.
And 18 is just a donation.
Oh, accepting money, that's good too. I'll go for that.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm fine with both of those.
Thank you.
Okay. So I'll go over the numbers again. So that was item 5 and 7 on page 2, item 8 on page 3, item 9 on page 4, item 15 on page 6, and then item 17 and 18 on page 7.
Move for the items.
Second.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the consent agenda passes. If your item was placed on consent, then you are free to go. Okay, first item is item number 4, a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter a purchase order and approving a public purpose resolution under which the city will purchase from the University of Alabama at Birmingham 1,000 football tickets per UAB home game during the 2022 college football season at a cost of $125,000 to be used by employees, youth groups, and neighborhood associations. The city shall distribute these tickets in accordance with the laws, including but not limited to the Alabama Ethics Law, Code of Alabama, 1975, Section 36-25-1. And the purchase of such tickets is in the best interest of the city and will serve as a public purpose and further enhance the public benefit and welfare by, among other things, promoting local economic development, stimulating and diversifying the local economy, promoting and increasing the city's tourist economy, and the generation of additional revenue and jobs.
Move the item.
Second.
Mr. McDaniels.
Yes, Madam Chair, Joint Chief. Test.
Now, yeah.
If the administration will consider for the item, there was not an agreement attached. So in the absence of the agreement, I mean, I think that's okay. But if the amount of the tickets could change to an up to 1,200 amount, and an up to amount to $150,000, which is an additional $25,000. And the funding source would be for the additional up to $150,000 or difference of $25,000. 001 010 042 00 52714.
Well, now explain that. Why are we doing it? Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. Councilor Abbott, you're fine.
I think in the absence of an agreement, we just don't know in terms of what the distribution looks like. And so the council just wants to be prepared to have an equitable share in the distribution of tickets, which is consistent with the Alabama ethics law. It's under $25 for its constituents. I'll have no more, no less than that.
Okay.
Madam Chairman.
Yes, Councilor Abbott.
Yes, I'll do it the right way this time. Why is this on our agenda with no agreement and no funding source?
Madam Chair.
Yes.
So we're just being consistent with what's been done in the past. Last year, we had this same agreement before the council and it was approved, but it was done at a different amount. It was done for $100,000. Same terms and agreement that was approved by the city attorney's office. So what's before the council is just an increase of what was shown in the budget. The difference is last year they only had 5 home games due to the construction of the Arena Protective Stadium. And so with the added game, which is game number 6, it increased the amount to $125,000. Now, to Mr. McDaniel's point, most of the ticket distributed, I don't have that before me, but we always gave the council an equitable amount of tickets that's in line with what the mayor has and what the council has. We've always tried to be very equitable with the tickets.
Okay.
Well, you still didn't answer the question why we don't have an agreement and why we don't have a funding source.
So the funding source for this particular amount, outside of what was shared by the council administration, is out of the $3 lodging tax. Same funding source as last year.
Did we not have put that on the agenda?
Well, I didn't really submit the item, but I can make sure it's on there for this upcoming Tuesday.
I mean, we've been doing budget and finance for years and years and years.
Well,
and it's common that you give the funding source.
Well, madam, I don't want to
and the contract.
I don't want to belabor the point, but I think it was on my submission sheet, but that could have been lost in translation. I'm putting it on the agreement, not to throw anybody under the table, under the bus, but we're just being consistent on what was done last year.
Okay, well, I have one other question, and that is, how will these tickets be distributed? Because the Office of the City Attorney has made a point in telling us what the law is, and of course, what we've been doing is slightly different. So, who is going to devise this lottery process that's required to give the tickets away?
Well, I can only speak to what the mayor's office has done, and we always shared a lottery. We're giving it between the youth, the neighborhood officers, and just people that ask for tickets. So I can't only speak to what our process is, but the council has a different process.
Well, actually, they said it required a lottery. I don't have a lottery. You know, I used to contact neighborhood officers and say, put it out on your network and say that these tickets are available, but that's not a lottery.
I would kind of beg to differ, but I think that's opening it up to anybody to get tickets so they can accept it or they don't have to accept it.
And I did have one other question. How does $125,000 worth of tickets for employees, youth groups, and neighborhood associations increase our tourist economy?
I think it's bringing people into the actual stadium. I'm sorry, Madam Chair.
You're fine.
It's bringing people into the actual stadium to spend money in our local restaurants and bars, and just the purchase of different paraphernalia from UAB or other groups that come into the city that may be like the University of Houston, University of Rice. It's just giving people the opportunity to spend money within the footprint of downtown.
Well, yeah, but these are employees, youth groups, and neighborhood associations. They're not tourists.
I think it's also to help those maybe in need that can't afford tickets, or youth groups
Yeah, I'm just trying to
exposing
figure out
kids.
how it's going to increase the tourist economy, because the tickets that we're buying, we're giving to local people who aren't tourists.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Madam President.
I guess my understanding of this is they're not tourists, but they are residents who would come into that footprint of Uptown and other areas where they will be spending money. They will be part of a revenue generation, because even though they get a ticket, they still would be eating and having entertainment that would generate revenue.
Well, yeah, and that's what promoting local economic development, stimulating and diversifying the local economy is. There's still no tourists.
But are we going tit for tat here because tourists, individuals, is that really?
I would just like to wipe out that "and increasing the city's tourist economy," because it's inaccurate and it makes us sound like we're trying to do something that we're not trying to do.
I can go with
Is that general language that's usually used? I think that's why they put in there the general language that is used for all those, but it's not limited to.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Ms. Kidd.
it is the language that we have used, Councilor Abbott, because it is an event that has come up under that 772, which, so it has carried that language for the years that I've sat with you on this. And as to the tickets, we are following the prescribed. We usually have a sheet that asks every counselor to list. So we're not doing anything that makes me nervous, because we help to facilitate the distribution of those tickets, and we have worked diligently with the administration to make sure that we are distributing them in a way. Now, I think that the word lottery can be interpreted. I don't know how we would do that. I mean, I don't know if we just ask people to come and put their name in a bag and we pull it out. But because we are asking the individuals to sign a sheet to say that they're giving them, then I think that's the most expeditious and the rational way that we can give it out and comply under the ethics rule. But I think it was Attorney Bentley who wrote the opinion for us and prescribed to us how to do that. I think some 8 years ago or before he retired. So at least up until now, I felt comfortable that we did change the process, because before there was just a full run and everybody got whatever they wanted, or anybody got what they wanted. But now it is being prescribed out, as far as I know, by every office to list who they're giving them to.
You know, I just read all that information we got from the law department after our last big ticket extravaganza. And, you know, they spelled out what the law said and said we needed to start following it. And when I called and asked questions, they said, well, you really need to have a lottery and it has to be open to everybody in the city of Birmingham. And I didn't have an idea of how to do that. So, but I'm going to let it go because it's clear. So let's just move ahead.
Okay, well, Madam President, do you have any more questions?
No, I don't.
Okay. Okay. Well, I think this would be good to help promote our local college, to give a chance for kids to come. You know, I think it was very good last year to do it, so. Anyways, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed?
So what did we just vote on? Did we vote on the changes that Mr. McDaniels asked for, or did we vote on what's on the agenda?
We can make another motion then to accept the changes, the amendments.
I move that we accept item number 4 with the changes and the information that it was provided by Deputy Administrator McDaniels, with the cost and the funding source that we would use for that, for this particular item. I move that.
Don't look at me. I'm abstaining.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
I abstain.
Okay, it's been noted that this item was passed by Madam President and Pro Tem and abstained by Councilor Abbott. Okay, next item. It is item number 6, a resolution pursuant to section 11-40-1, section 11-47-16, and section 11-47-19, Codes of Alabama 1975, authorizing the mayor to execute and deliver an agreement with Sidewalk Film Center and Cinema Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $5,000 to engage children and adults in live and virtual film and theater productions throughout the city of Birmingham. Said funds to be paid from District 2 discretionary funds, $2,500, and District 5 discretionary funds, $2,500.
Move the item.
Second.
Okay, Councilor Abbott, did you? I think you said you wanted to amend this
Madam
item.
Chairman, I decided that I did not want to amend it because this is not the item that I thought. I didn't see that it
that's
was
fine.
Sidewalk. It's a different film series.
Yeah.
So I apologize for you having to read all that.
I like that. Mr. McDaniels?
There's a correction to the item, Madam
Okay.
Chair, and the amount should be $5,000 per district,
Gotcha.
for a
Okay.
total amount of $10,000.
Oh, that's nice of them.
Well, then I guess it worked out.
Yeah, it's a great event. I've always enjoyed attending it.
So do we need to move that again since we did
Yeah,
this? I move the agreement on item 6 with those amended funding amounts.
Second.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the item passes. Next item. Item number 10 on page 4, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a foreign trade zone operator agreement between the city of Birmingham and BLG Logistics Incorporated, under which the city will grant BLG Logistics the right to utilize a subzone site known as Subzone 98, which is located at 6801 5th Street, Northport, Alabama, as a foreign trade zone subzone for a term of 5 years to automatically renew for successive 5-year terms, and BLG Logistics will pay annual operating fees to the city or its administrator for routine foreign trade zone operations.
Move the item.
Second.
Okay, Chief.
Yeah, I'll bring up Mr. Aurelio Johnson that can speak on the item.
Good afternoon, committee members, Madam Chair, committee members. Aurelio Johnson, Project Manager, Department of Innovation and Economic Opportunity. The item before you this afternoon is a foreign subzone request for operator agreement for BLG in the city of Birmingham. The city of Birmingham serves as the grantor for foreign trade zone designation. That's why that item is before you. We cover from the border of Mississippi to Georgia, central Alabama. That's why this item is in Tuscaloosa, but it does fall within subzone 98 designation zone. Any questions?
Madam President, do you have any questions?
Yes, thank you very much. I know issues like this or these type items have come to us before. Is this a new agreement with a new?
This is a new This is a new request for operator agreement.
Perfect. Do we know how many we have already, or is there a quantified number? Just,
I would have to request that from Department of
okay.
Customs.
I just had an idea, a curiosity there. And just, I guess, for the public, could you tell them what this allows for the entity when we go into this agreement?
Yes, ma'am, I'll be happy to.
Thanks.
Foreign trade zones are set up for companies who export goods internationally, and the reason for the zones are set up within the zones is the fact that you defer your tariff costs for your importing and exports of goods and or finished items. So say, for instance, Mercedes have 10,000 cars sitting in the logistics area. Well, they're not charged taxes or duties on those items until they become in the sales force or they're actually shipped out, as opposed to paying taxes there. What it does, it levels the playing field with international traders, because there's foreign trade zones in other countries that allow them the same trade zone opportunities. So the United States have in turn set up a foreign trade zone within the United States. There's about 298 zones within the 50 states, so it's, they're apparent in all the states in the United States.
Okay. And just one more question, Madam Chair. I do see we have Mr. Russell here from the Port Authority. Does this have any impact on the Port Authority at all, or is this all with the entity that's requesting this agreement?
It's with the entity that's requesting it, but it's not limited just to that. If the trades, if the board wanted to become part of a subzone, they can apply for an application as well.
Okay, thank you very much. That's it, ma'am.
Okay. Councilor Abbott?
Yes, I wanted to ask, can you say again what subzone 98 encompasses?
Central Alabama, from state line to state line, essentially.
Okay, and how many other subzones does Alabama have?
I think it's 3 zones total.
Three
South
total.
Alabama, Central, and North Alabama.
Okay, and what is the annual operating fee that they're going to pay?
It's based upon actual sales revenues that they generate, so it's on a case-by-case basis. Upon their returning in their end-of-year costs, that's how the numbers are equated. But the city gets operating fee expense that comes to the city for the term of the agreement.
Okay, and well, I had another question and it has just blown right out of my brain. I know what it is. They're going to pay the fees to the city or its administrator?
It goes to the administrator pays the fees to the city. We have a third-party entity that actually administers the trade zone through the Department of Customs. From there, we are paid from them.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anybody have any more questions? Okay. Well, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. That item passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 11, Synergistics LLC to provide behavioral energy savings program for the city of Birmingham. This contract is for 5 years, beginning on the start date and ending on the last day of the 5th year. The monthly fee is $57,166.67 for 1 year. The project total for 1 year is $686,004.
Move the item.
Second.
Second.
Chief.
I'll bring in Ms. Denise Bell, who can speak on this item. And I'm gonna help her out too, I think.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Denise Bell, serve as the Director of Capital Projects Department. Let me make a correction in the notation. The monthly fee is $50,166.67 in 1 year. So it's a total of 5 years. So this first year is $686. But this is a 5-year contract. So year 2 will be different. We'll come back each year if this is approved, basically.
And the correct amount is?
So the amount is correct. It should say in 1 year instead of for 1 year.
And
yeah,
we'll make that note.
So basically, just to let you know, this is a behavior-based contract. Basically, it focuses on changing the human behavior to help us reduce our energy consumptions in our major facilities where we house our staff members and what we are frequenting the most. So it won't be gazebos, etc. to be our facilities such as Crossplex, City Hall, recreational centers, etc. It's 118 structures.
So how are we going to do that? How are they going to help us to do that?
How they're going to help us do that?
Yeah.
I got someone to explain that to you. Come on, Steve.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
Thank you for having me. My name is Steve Jones. I'm from Montgomery. I've been with Synergistic for about 5 years. I retired from the city of Montgomery after 27 years, and we actually hired this company right before I retired, and Montgomery is now in its second contract with them. Your point is your question is very pointed that we are a behavioral-based organization. We look at your facilities, your organizations, the way that you are currently using the energy that you're spending, and find optimal ways to make it better. We don't sell equipment. We don't have 20-year contracts for equipment that you pay back with the savings. We will look holistically at every facility individually and find ways to make it more efficient, more healthy, and more sustainable. We are very concerned with CO2 emissions. We are very concerned with air filtration. We're very concerned with all of those details about healthy facilities that have always been in the forefront, but not that prevalent as it has been in the past 2 years.
Councilor Abbott.
Well, I had the same question, but I want to know, for $57,000 a month, exactly how do you change these employees' minds about how they use energy? Is that what you're doing?
Yes, ma'am. So what we will do is...
do you have meetings, or you put signs up on the doors, or you send them texts and say, turn off all the lights?
No, it's a very complex program that we put together. Again, we will hire for the City of Birmingham, we'll hire 2 full-time employees. They will be local, they will be in the area, and they are dedicated to the energy reduction of all of your facilities within Birmingham. The behavioral part of this is we will go from building to building studying how you use your energy. Are you turning it on just at 7 o'clock in the morning and not monitoring it? We will be very mathematical about how you're using your energy. And then instead of dictation, it'll be education that we will go around to the employees, to the custodians, out into the community with the Rotary clubs and the Kiwanis clubs, and talk about how the City of Birmingham is leading by example in environmental sustainability and being good stewards of the energy. It seems very I don't want to say unlikely when somebody says that we can save you $1 million a year net in energy reduction, but I will say that we've been with Birmingham City Schools for 4 years now. Dr. Herring hired us 4 years ago, and now Dr. Sullivan is about to renew for a second contract. In those 4 years with Birmingham City Schools, we've reduced their energy costs by $9 million. Dr. Gonslin at Jefferson County Public Schools just signed us for a second contract. We've been with them for 7 years, and we've reduced their energy consumption by $15 million. So we go in and micromanage the way that you're using energy, but I need to be real clear about one thing. This does not mean making the temperature uncomfortable for the employees and the constituents to reduce energy. That is counterintuitive to how this program works, because if we just come in and turn the air off in the summer to reduce energy, nobody's going to buy into the program. This is in talking with the mayor and with Chief Sparks, this is something that becomes a culture within the organization, as it has in these school districts, and we start lowering the energy use. The fee that you're looking at, the $50,000, that is the first year. It's a small reduction. In year 2, 3, 4, and 5 are at a steady pace. Maybe I think 60,000 more. That is 100% at our risk. We guarantee you 100% that we will save you at a minimum every dime that you pay us. That is guaranteed contractually. I think that's happened 7 times in the history of the company. But what we're doing with other schools and municipalities is we're going so far beyond that, and that goes right back into your general fund. Dr. Goslin is wanting to, I think they're talking about putting clear backpacks with all of the students for school safety issues. He's going to fund that program through the energy conservation savings of this program. So it is at your leisure what you do with the savings, as opposed to other professional contracts where the savings just go pay back the equipment.
Okay, and one other question. Will there be any recommendations for things like solar panels on buildings that could use solar panels, or I doubt we'll have wind turbines on top of any of them, but you never know.
Never know.
So will there be any recommendations for us to do anything different?
Well,
energy-wise?
Yes, ma'am. So we will hire energy specialists that are from Birmingham, that their job is they're assigned to Denise's organization, and that's all they do. But they fall under the auspices of engineers and professional engineers and certified energy managers, to where if Ms. Bell says we're looking at redoing the HVAC system in the City Hall, the air conditioning, we would come in as a vendor-neutral third-party representative and give you recommendations on what we feel would be an optimal use or an optimal piece of equipment for this facility. If you want to do an LED lighting project, we will come in and do a study on that facility and give you what your ROI would be if you did change all of these bulbs to LED and how long it would take to repay that. So where you have to go out now for third-party representatives and hire them to come in and do those studies, that is part of the services we provide.
Did you say you might recommend solar panels on any buildings?
I did not.
Is that not part of the deal?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Well, that answers my question.
No, it's not. So this is the first, I guess you could say this is the first phase of us trying to be more energy efficient, basically. So I think it's going to take us time to get where we need to be with all of our facilities, but this is our first phase at trying to be more energy efficient and meeting Chapter 6 sustainability out of the comprehensive plan, where we're supposed to be better stewards and set leadership examples across Birmingham ourselves and being good environmental stewards. So I think we're going to get there. This is just the first phase. We got to at least understand what our bottom line is first and then build from there.
Okay, and this just includes electricity and gas, I guess?
Utilities and water as well.
Water too?
Yes, ma'am.
So we might start using gray water to water all our plants instead of using potable water, or is that something we might
look at? Yeah, we can see with our stormwater team, which is PEP under PEP. I've been talking to them about this effort. Yeah.
Good, thank you. I'm excited about this because, you know, I mean, the environment's all we've got.
Yes.
And when it's gone, it's gone. And I don't want to wash away or blow away, so thank you.
What are the, wait, we're not done with you, but what were the cost savings that Montgomery experienced? Do you know the exact number?
City of Montgomery?
Yeah.
If you don't mind me looking at my telephone.
Oh, no, you're fine.
Let me grab it.
This isn't school. You can look at your phone.
I'm not sure how many they have structure-wise, but we pretty rich. We're pretty rich in structures, so.
So one of the things that we'll be able to do, that we will do here, is because with Ms. Bell, we will come in and build a model of all 108 of those buildings. We will build the R factor of the windows, of the roofs, the age, the occupancy, and we will start running metrics on best practices on how to use that. But every one of your buildings, at any point, she will be able to look at and see exactly what the carbon footprint greenhouse emission reduction is, how many sequestered trees that is equal to. So we have a very comprehensive, because it's y'all's program. It's your program. We just want to make sure that we're the tool to get you there. So the City of Montgomery, the City of Montgomery had about 78 when we started. They're not as big as y'all are. Go. So the City of Montgomery has just renewed for its second contract. They've reduced their energy by 23% since 2017 at $5.75 million. They have reduced their CO2 emissions by 28,062 metric tons, and it just goes on and on.
Oh, that's impressive.
One of the things that we do that I'm excited about with Ms. Bell is Energy Star certification. And what most people think Energy Star is a little sticker at Lowe's on your refrigerator. Well, what we do is we thrive, and Jefferson County Schools, I think, has got 17 already. What it does is it's the EPA telling you that you are in the top 75 percentile of all like buildings in America for energy efficiency and sustainability. That's about a $5,000 cost to have a professional engineer come in and do that. That's what we do. We do that at our cost because when we had Montgomery City Hall Energy Star certified, that's a pretty big deal. And that's our goal with our first building here is going to be Birmingham City Hall and get it Energy Star certified and Department of Energy recognized.
Is that the same program where there are different levels to it? Like when builders do it, it's like gold, silver, platinum, or
that's the LEED program. That's the
LEED program. Okay.
But so that program, what we're doing now, will complement that. You can use that as nice. It goes towards credit. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yes.
So
Yes.
you'll be able to take these
Yeah.
credits, these greenhouse emission milestones that you're reaching, we'll put them in the reports, and that's what you submit to get those different levels of LEED certification.
Oh, that's good. I would love to know our carbon footprint because I did a quiz a couple of weeks ago. I think I'm about 6.6 planets, so that was a lot. And it's just very interesting how everything is connected. Madam President?
Yes, I just have a couple of questions. Thank you, Ms. Bill, for bringing this to us as a possible energy savings process. I'm having a little difficulty with the math. So the monthly fee is $50,000. But can you explain that to me again? Because
Okay.
this full year is $686,000, which is about what we paid to pave Jefferson Avenue. So
Okay, so basically it's $57,166.67 a month, which will equal that $686,000.04.
Okay.
So that's for the first year.
all right. And I know we're talking about behavioral changes. So is this the first time we've gone into this type of a program here at the city? I know we've had other cost-saving measures such as equipment
Yes, ma'am.
and, how to equip the facility. Is this the first time we've gone into trying a behavioral type process?
Yes, ma'am. To my knowledge, absolutely. You got the equipment. We have that now. So now that we have those things, then we got to go towards the behavior side, because you can have in your home all the
solar
good
panels,
stuff,
everything you
but
need.
yet you don't know how to utilize it, or you don't have the knowledge behind it. Then it's not beneficial. So now we got to make the new equipment, the recent equipment, more beneficial for us.
Okay. And I hope I was paying attention. Our return on the investment, how often will that be, calculated or reported back to the city? Or how will you know that return on investment?
So I'll let Steve answer that one, but he's required to have a meeting with us once a month, his team. We will know once a month what's going on, but we should receive every 6 months.
That's at the level that you want to be updated. If the
Yeah.
Finance Committee wants to be updated every 30 days,
Yeah.
we'll have a rep will come down and tell you exactly where we are financially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say maybe every 6 months we could provide something as it relates to report out on
Yeah.
savings.
think that-
I don't want to say every month, because you may not see anything.
Yeah.
That's like construction. Something could stop and you won't see anything for a while. So I think we just need to see how it goes the first 6 months and see if we got anything to report.
And to add on that, Madam Chair, we have to make sure that everything reconciles with what we're actually paying
Yeah.
to the utility company. So it's
That's a great point, Chief.
Yeah.
And, excuse me, Ms. Bell, but I want to be real clear about this. We're not grading our own papers. So when we talk about what the savings are, it has to be codified by somebody on your side that agrees. We look at it two ways. We look at the Alabama Power bills, how it is in Birmingham, but in Montgomery, they're not calling very often saying, hey, we just want to lower your rates for you. We don't get a lot of that down there. But we look at energy use and the bills. But we have to be codified by your team, where we sit down and say, we both agree with this. And if you do a project where you're talking about replacing or solar panels or whatever your project is, we will then redo the baseline that we develop and make sure that we're not getting any credit for anything that you put capital expenditure into, 100%. So we are only doing things that affect the program that we put in place. What you do autonomous from us, that's your money, not ours.
And just one final question, Madam Chair. And I don't want to get into the weeds or just the detail of the project, but you said 118 facilities or sites. So with this phased in, are you targeting some of your worst energy efficient?
Yeah, so it's
buildings?
118 structures.
Structures, okay, thank you.
So we got over 400, but they're not all structures. You got unimproved properties, you got pavilions, you got pools, you have, all of that is what we call structures, but it's only 118 buildings.
Okay, thank you very much. That's it, Madam Chair.
And what's the cost for the second year?
It is, so this year is $57 a month, next year will be $61,000 a month. So that would be $732. $739.
686 is the first year, and then it's $739 for the remaining 4. We guarantee that dollar. We guarantee the $739, And if we hit 20%, which we feel we will here, over the course of the 5 years, you will have repaid our fees and netted over $5 million in net savings for the city.
And why does it increase the second year?
Why
Why does it increase the second year?
To be honest with you, the first year, when we're talking about, we average 20-25%. Birmingham City, I think it's 23, Montgomery's 26. The first year, we're probably going to get to about 16%. We're going to cover the fees, but we've got to get to know the buildings. We've got to build all of those models of the buildings. So we charge you less the first year because pragmatically, we don't think we're going to come out and get to 25% the first year.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, does anybody have any more questions?
I do have one
Councilor
more. Will this include, I'm still struggling with exactly how you do this. So will this include recommendations like for us to have roofs that are more reflective to keep the sun's rays from being absorbed in and causing our HVAC to go up, or will this is just how to cut back on what we're already using without fixing anything?
So no, not directly. Basically, it's what Councilor Smitherman mentioned. It's the LEAD program, which PEP is working on that, and they're our partners in making our buildings more efficient by materials that we use. So we've been trying to incorporate those things within our construction documents where we're asking the questions. We're actually sending our staff to training to look at the latest and greatest as well. So we're looking at that, but this particular item does not cover that. It will adjust if we do those things at a later date. They will adjust the baseline if we do those things at a later date.
Okay.
So in other words, we can't do everything at one time. We're pretty much stepping through the phases to try to get to the place that we need to be.
Well, good. Thank you.
Okay. If there are any other questions, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. The item passes. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Next item number 12, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a funding agreement with the Birmingham Jefferson County Port Authority, under which the Port Authority will provide for the operation of an inland port facility on the Black Warrior River for recreational, transportational, architectural, industrial, and commercial purposes, and other professional services as needed to carry out its duties and responsibilities, and other services that are required to fulfill the intent of the Port Authority Act as defined in Chapter 94 of Title 11 of the Code of Alabama 1975, and the purposes of the funding agreement, and the city will pay the Port Authority an amount not to exceed $125,000 for such services, provided that such funding has been approved and included.
Second.
Okay. Hey, Mr. Russell, how you doing?
Hey, good evening. Good afternoon, everybody. How y'all doing?
Hello.
I just want to talk about, first, Dave Russell Jr., Executive Director of Birmingham County Port Authority. Just kind of want to bring everybody up to speed what these funds we use for our yearly operations. For the last couple of months, I kind of went volunteer for the Port Authority to kind of keep it pushing. We did finalize our last project with Watco, that P3 agreement. That will start construction of that warehouse hopefully within the next 30 to 60 days. Something we would like to do is really try to use some of these funds to kind of do some marketing campaign, just to let people know, because a lot of people in Jefferson County don't even know we have a port. There's a lot of that's industry as well. So just one, doing a marketing campaign, just let them know this warehouse is available. Secondly, we want to start doing a groundbreaking ceremony, a ribbon cutting ceremony, and really just kind of have a full-fledged marketing campaign to let people know we have this warehouse. Secondly, there's some property that we were thinking about trying to acquire at the port that's in our preview, and we would like to try to do the due diligence on that. So with that requires escrow funds. And as far as the future, well, another thing that's pretty exciting we're doing is the post-COVID supply chain study. So we're working with the Regional Planning Commission of Greater Birmingham and Auburn University Supply Chain Department, because they're like number 3 in the nation, to really conduct a post-COVID supply chain study of our local economy and our local supply chain. So what that's going to entail for us in November, it should be ready. Basically some opportunities that the Port Authority has to kind of implement different alternatives for our supply chain, and different alternatives we're not even using, like we have a lot of rail spur, a lot of rail in our area really trying to help identify some issues now in supply chain so we can make it more efficient for a lot of our local businesses.
Madam President, do you have any question?
Well, I do just want to ask about the Port Authority with all of the supply chain issues that have been, worldwide or within. Where do you see the role of the Port Authority in, minimizing that or being an integral source in bringing things into the city or to the county?
Yes, ma'am. So for one, that foreign trade zone y'all approved earlier is going to be beneficial for the Port Authority. But now since the Port Authority actually is going to have an asset at the port, that's something we could possibly expand to a port also to kind of make it more attainable for a lot more people that don't use it currently. But right now, going forward, we're at 5% capacity to complete the port is. So there's a lot of room for improvement. So the problems are opportunities for us to continue to grow, and this facility is going to do that for us.
Okay. And this amount was not to exceed $125,000. You said there's a possibility of procuring other land. Is that within this budget, or you'd be going outside of that to try to get the money to secure more land?
Well, to get the land, we're going to explore a joint venture opportunity because this really is going to be for operations standpoint. But the joint venture opportunity will allow other parties to kind of work with the Port Authority to bring in those services that we will have to pay for, that we won't have to use this money for, like engineers, architects, environmental firms, and go after that land. But first, we want to do the due diligence. So this money will serve as part of the escrow for that, so put that on the contract.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Rose.
Councilor Abbott?
Can you give us an example of the recreational uses of the port?
Right now, some of the local citizens, they do go out there and fish and just kind of hang out at the water, but for the most part, we don't really have any other recreational other than fishing.
But you don't charge people to fish, do you?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I was just wondering, I was trying to imagine what kind of recreational uses of the port there'd be, because I've been there, and I can't imagine too much recreation going on at that port. But I thought maybe you were having, like, I don't know, tour boats or something go up and down the river.
That's not too far-fetched, so we can get into that.
Anything is possible.
Yes, ma'am.
Are there any more questions? Okay. Well, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. The item passes. Thank you, Mr. Russell.
Thank you.
Okay, next item number 13. Do I need to call 13 and 14 together? Okay. Item 13, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a professional services agreement with Slade Land Use, Environmental, and Transportation Planning, LLC, under which Slade shall conduct interior and exterior lead-based paint inspections, testing, risk assessments, soil sampling, dust wipe sampling, and clearance inspections to not more than 250 properties as identified by the Community Development Department. Said services shall be in accordance with the grant award to the city from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, in the amount of $4,100,000. The total compensation the city shall pay Slade shall not exceed $1,826,475 for the duration of the term and any renewal term. And then item 14, it seems like it's same thing, except for different vendor, which is Building and Property Sciences, LLC. And this is in an amount of, said services shall be in accordance with the grant awarded to the city from the U.S. HUD in the amount of $4,100,000. The city will pay them an amount not to exceed $2,826,475 for a term of 18 months with a renewal term of 1 year. BPS shall charge price per unit as shown on Exhibit B.
Move the items.
Okay.
We'll bring up Dr. Venable Thomas and Mr. Corey Stallworth.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Megan Venable Thomas, the Director of Community Development. So there's a little bit of an update here. Yeah. So for Slade, it's actually $900,000, not to exceed $900,000, and that wasn't an update that was sent, I think, a little late. Probably you didn't see it. And for BPS would be not to exceed $2,226,475. And so we were awarded this grant from HUD in 2019 for our lead abatement and testing due to COVID and some capacity challenges, as well as some challenges around getting contractors on board. We've been delayed in being able to launch this program. There's a huge need in our community because most of our housing stock is from the 1970s, and so a lot of our housing used lead in a lot of its materials prior to 1978. So we don't know quite all the need, but this program will help us to identify that and then to abate some of the challenges that we may have. And we know that there's a significant impact on children under 6 years old when you have lead in a home. And so we really want to use this program to invigorate and to be able to address some of these challenges. And so first, for building and property sciences, they will be not only abating, but they will be administering this program. So this money goes towards about $10,000 to $15,000 per home of abatement, which allows us to do about 7 houses per month over the 18-month period, which ultimately results in about 126 homes that could be abated. And then with Slade, they are LLC, they're able to do the pre and post testing. And so with them, that allows us to do about 250 homes over the course of the 18 months, and that's where the $900,000 comes from. And so we're hoping that once this gets passed, we'll be able to launch in September to begin the pre and post testing as well as the abatement.
So how are you, well, first of all, let me get the numbers right. So for IM 13, that's $900,000. And that's for what you guys were awarded, the grant? No, what amount is this $900,000?
So $900,000 is part of the grant. So this, the $900,000 plus the $2,226,475 together are part of that $4.1 million which we were awarded.
Gotcha.
The additional would be for our internal programmatic support.
Gotcha.
So that equals the 4.1.
Okay, gotcha. And how do you select the houses that will be inspected?
So based on, we've done a number of RFPs, and Corey, you can talk more about.
So for the homes that we plan to select, we're first starting with our critical repair pipeline of individuals who have already been through that program, and we kind of surveyed them to see who would need this assistance. And so we have a handful through that route, as well as we want to work with the local housing authority with their Section 8 voucher landlords to see if there are any of those participants who will need those services, as well as we will work with BPS and Slade and host some outreach meetings as well to see if we can get some people to come to those meetings who are interested. Of course, we'll share it on the website as well and have a whole marketing campaign.
Councilor Abbott, do you have any questions?
Oh, I do. Okay, so this grant is not to abate the lead paint, it's to identify it?
It's for both. So building and professional sciences will be doing abatement as well as testing and administration, and Slade will primarily be doing testing. And so based on our challenges prior as far as getting contractors, we wanted to get multiple contractors so that we can be moving more quickly through being able to do the identification as well as the abatement simultaneously.
Okay, because this doesn't say that anything's going to be abated.
Yeah, that's also not in the update or in the original, but there's an updated version that we have.
Okay, so what will appear on the council agenda will have the accurate information. Okay, so Building and Property Sciences, they're going to administer the program, and Slade is sort of going to report to them, I suppose. Is that, if they're administering the program, what are they administering, just the money, or?
So BPS will be administering the actual program, so they will be doing the client intake, as well as coordinating the abatement scheduling and the testing scheduling. And so because we feel like this will serve a lot of residents, we want to make sure we bring in another contractor who can specifically focus on the testing side of things. And so they will work together, BPS and Slade, to make sure that the citizens are getting the testing and abatement services, and community development staff will provide the monitoring of both of those agencies.
Okay, and the emphasis will be on homes that have children under the age of 6, or it will be any home that's been in the critical repair and other city programs?
So the grant requirement is for households that have children with ages 6 and under.
Okay. Which makes sense.
Because mostly the lead impacts you in the developmental stages of 6 and under, and so for adults, typically you're not impacted as much by lead in the home, and so that's why they prioritize homes with children 6 and under.
Well, and if lead had gotten me, it's already gotten me. So
right.
We just want to stop it from getting anybody
Me
else.
too.
Okay, I think that's all my questions. Thank you.
Madam President?
Yes, thank you very much. I do just have one question. I guess I just want clarity. If a resident has already signed up for the program, does new residents have to sign up to request this? Or let's say, for instance, I've already tried to get on this program because I want some type of home repair. Will you automatically look at the lead if I have children under a certain age, or if my home is a certain age, or what? Is there anything that would trigger me? Say, for instance, I don't even think my home might be a problem. Is there anything that would trigger us to look at that home, or I have to request it?
We're not looking at requests at the moment. We're going to go and scrub our list to see if they meet the requirements with a child in the home to be
That's
able to
pretty much
then.
what I'm asking.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. That was my only question. Thank you.
Well, if there are any more questions, there's been a motion and second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, items 13 and 14 pass. Thank you, guys. Next item is item number 16, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute and deliver an agreement with RJ Building Incorporated to lease a space totaling approximately 54,136 square feet of that certain property known as Mazer Discount Home Center. The property, which is comprised of a total of approximately 430,888 square feet. The property is located at 2nd South 41st Street in the city of Birmingham, Alabama, owned by Lesser. The initial term of this lease shall be 1 year, commencing on July 1st, 2022, and ending on the 1-year anniversary of such date. The leasee shall have the right and option to extend the lease for up to 4 consecutive terms for 1 year each, with the first extension term to begin upon of the initial term, and each subsequent extension term to begin upon the expiration of immediately preceding extension term. The city shall agree to pay rent in equal monthly installments of $10,800 on or before the 10th day of each month during the term of this lease. The city will use and occupy the premises for the sole purpose of conducting business operations related to the City of Birmingham Fire Department activities. The project said lease funds will be paid from 001_022_17001_17401.531-009.
Move the item.
Second.
Madam.
President, can you just do this while I go to the bathroom?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Madam Chair, this is just a simple renewal of some property that we use to house a lot of our equipment that Birmingham Fire and Rescue uses. It's just space is very limited for the city of Birmingham, especially with our infrastructure. So this is one of the opportunities that we want to keep using to help the Birmingham Fire and Rescue out with just space and storage.
All right, thank you. Mrs. Abbott, do you have any questions?
I do. I wanted to know what we're storing and why.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I'm Assistant Chief Decimus Williamson. I serve as Assistant Chief for Operations, Logistics, and Communications for Birmingham Fire and Rescue Service. The 54,000 square feet that we lease from RJ Building Incorporated, really the building space that we use is comprised of 3 different spaces. One space we use to house and safely secure our emergency medical supplies. As you know, during the recent pandemic with the supply chain issues that we had We always try to keep ahead of our EMS supplies, so we have a rotating stock of EMS supplies. As you know, the ongoing pandemic, we don't know what's coming as far as the future with monkeypox or even COVID-19. So those medical supplies that are stored there are used on a rotating basis and then resupplied, so we make sure that the citizens of Birmingham are kept safe from any future issues with pandemic when we have our PPE, gloves, gowns, masks, O2 supplies, and what have you. Another portion of the space, we house our reserve apparatus. As you know, Birmingham Fire and Rescue Service has an ISO rating, insurance services organization rating of 1, which is the highest class that you can get in the United States. That ISO rating requires us to have a certain number of reserve apparatus on hand, which means that we have a fire truck that breaks down, we have another apparatus we can immediately replace it with. So it requires us to have a certain number of fire engines and the aerial apparatus, the large ladder trucks that we use, on hand when those apparatus break down. So if somebody goes out of service on an apparatus, they can immediately go to Mazers, move a limited amount of equipment onto that apparatus that kept in reserve in a secured location, and go ahead and go back in service within a short amount of time. And then the third area we have is basically a workspace. We have logistics employees that work in that space, and we save the city hundreds of thousands of dollars each year by using that space to repair our own damaged fire hose that sometimes get ran over by automobiles or have leaks in them. We repair our own ladders that are damaged rather than send them off to someone else. So the 3 different spaces that comprise the 54,000 square feet are used for really three different things that help make sure that we can keep Birmingham Fire and Rescue Service up to date and make sure the citizens are protected 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Thank you. That answered my question.
And I just want to add, because we're saying what we have there, this place is secured, so everything is locked down.
Yes, secured with electronic gate, and then there is, of course, video surveillance. So.
And we don't have any narcotics anyway, so nobody needs to break in anyhow.
No, ma'am. There are no narcotics located there. We do keep some of our reserve rescue units there, though, but there's no narcotics or other drugs that are stored at that location. They're kept in a secured location at our main office at 1808 7th Avenue.
I doubt the bad people are watching the budget and finance meeting, but you know, I don't want them to think that there's anything to steal but a bunch of gloves and wipes.
Correct.
Well, we're not going to encourage stealing. Madam President, did you ask any questions?
I guess I just wanted to be sure I understand. We're currently occupying the building, and so this will be like a renewal, or
That's
are we
correct.
and we're not getting any additional space from this?
No, ma'am. It's the same amount of space we've had for the past 10 years.
It's been longer than I thought it was
longer than
it's longer than
about 14 years.
And just a question, sort of putting on my occupational safety hat. Forgive me. A long time ago, but do we have to maintain that building in a certain way, because you do have certain items in it as far as ventilation or humidity or air or anything like that, or this is just
Yes, ma'am.
those type goods?
Yes, certain portions of the building are climate controlled. We don't need a climate control area to store the fire apparatus or where our employees work. It's not necessarily climate controlled, but it's just enough to where they can function if it's cold outside or extremely hot.
Okay, thank you. Those are my questions. Thank you all.
Okay. Councilor Abbott, do you have any more questions?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. Well, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That item passes. Thank you, gentlemen. Old and new business. We have one item for an addendum. We'll just make it item number 19. So this is a request seeking a budget ordinance to transfer $2,500 from my account to the South Titusville Neighborhood Association non-capital account for the annual Titusville Day activities at Memorial Park. And that event will occur August 20th, starting at 11. So it's basically like a community day.
At the Titusville?
Titusville Day. It's usually 4th of July, but because of the World Games, they pushed it back to August, yeah.
It'll be cooler.
Maybe.
I move approval.
Second.
Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye. That item passes. Thank you, ladies. I don't think there's anything else, so is there a motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. That item passes and the meeting ends. Thank you.
This has been very educational.